Well, good day, and you've joined me for yet another new season of Travels by Narrowboat. And for season 7, I'm going to head up the Rufford to Fettler's Wharf, where I'm booked in for a few weeks, and then after that I'm going to continue on up the Rufford to a little place called Tarleton, and then onto the River Douglas, across the Millennium Ribble Link, which then takes you up and onto the Lancaster Canal, where I'm then going to travel all the way along the Lancaster to its northernmost terminus at Chewitfield, and which also happens to be the most northerly point it's possible to reach by boat on the inland waterways. Well, unless of course you use a lorry. So, without further ado, let's get going, eh?
Coming after me. Do you hear my boat a-chugging? Oh, look now, can't you see? Folks say she sounds like music, but like nothing on the scene. I've spent some time trying to figure it out. Whoa, this is what they mean. And she goes boom, boom, boom. Alright now, doom, doom, doom. Be well now, boom, boom, boom. Stay safe now, doom, doom, doom. Farewell now.
A rather splendid few days moored up near the beautiful little town of Berska. And into the junction we go. Just by here will do me, I think. Straight away you have one little surprise, which is on all the locks on the Rufford, which is anti-vandal devices. For an area pretty much in the middle of nowhere and very countrified, you wouldn't expect them to suffer with the problems of vandalism and water loss and so on. And another issue with the first lock here is this swing bridge, which, if memory serves me correctly, is very, very, very heavy. So I may not be able to open it on my own. Well, that's a good start. Apparently the locks are leaking quite badly between numbers 2 and 3. Well, so what we're doing is draining some water from up here and putting it right down to lock 3 to fill it up. Just had an interesting conversation with the gentleman here. His boat is stuck down at number 3 down there because it's very big and there's not enough water. So obviously we're filling this lock and we're letting the water run down and then running down through number 2 and all the way to number 3. But he's taken it upon himself to say that I've got to wait here at the top instead of, as I suggested, when this lock here at number 1 is filled up, I go down with it, which lets all the water go with it as well, and then I go to number 2 and I go down with that and let all the water through. But he seems to think that that will be a waste of time, so he expects me to wait here for the best part of an hour, maybe hour and a half, and then go down once he's up here. Also, quite annoyingly, even though we're trying to fill this lock, he's opened that ground paddle there to let the water through, so it is taking a very, very long time to fill this lock. So it's time for one of those blank screens saying X amount of minutes later.
That is the first time I've ever lost my temper with a boat.
Well, it's nearly there, so I don't see what the issue is. I've moved. I can go through this. I can go through number 2. Okay, well I'll wait a bit further down, but at least I've moved. Well, that's a good start. So I'll get through this lock, and then I can get through number 2 possibly, or I might have to wait down there. Well, I'm in the lock, but all the paddles are open, so it's very slowly going down, but at least I'm in the lock. An hour and a quarter after I arrived, I'm now through the first lock, and he's got all his precious water that he would have had anyway, so I shall pull over here and wait. I've left the gate open for him because I'm a considerate boater, and I'm not sure how it's happened, but this lock is actually full, because I thought he was emptying it to fill up the pound a bit further on. Oh well, in I go. He seems to be having an issue with his boat. It's stuck right across the canal, so I'll wait before I open these paddles, otherwise the current will force him against the bank even more. No wonder he needed so much water. It's a humongous wide beam, or a super beam actually. Very nice, calm, peaceful day. Right, now where were we? Oh yes, the Rufford Branch. Those 3 down, and now a pleasant little jaunt to number 4. The Rufford Branch is one of the canal system's sort of quiet little secrets. Very, very rural. Well, as you probably saw then, I've done myself a bit of a mischief. I've either torn a muscle, pulled a ligament, or just seriously clicked my hip joint. It shot straight up my leg and it's now nestling in my left buttock. Well, it's proving to be an adventure-filled day. Cheers! So for the second time round, I'm travelling along the Rufford with an injury. Because of course the first time along 15 months ago, I was carrying a monumental headache and quite severe head injuries. How I did it, I don't know. I must have been running on pure adrenaline. When I say I'm heading for Fettler's Wharf, I'll be going there eventually, but not for 5 days' time. And then I'm booked to stay there for 4 weeks, and then I come out and I'm booked onto the Ribble Link. And more about that later on. Well, there's this little speedboat turned up with a load of guys in it. Now ordinarily I'd probably say, you know, if you want, you can come in the lot with me, but the way my day's going, I really don't want the hassle. I don't want the responsibility. No, thank you. Yep, this is proper farming country. And number 6 is just coming up round the corner. Well, this looks promising. There's a CRT work barge in the lock waiting area. So I think I'm going to have to pull alongside and tie to it. I've decided that I'm going to face fear head on. I'm going to laugh in the face of danger, because you can't just let it have its own way. And these young lads are going to share the lot with me. Brave or what? Nice and steady. Well, that went without a hitch. And now a nice steady run to Lock 7, which is right before Fettler's Wharf. But I may moor up just before the lock, depending on what the mooring situation's like on the other side. This is really quite painful now. I've either torn a muscle or a ligament, or I partially dislocated my hip joint for a fraction of a second. Oh heck, I forgot all about this swing bridge. This swing bridge is operated from the off towpath side. Yes, I remember this one well, because there isn't really anywhere to tie up apart from that little white post right by there. Oh, blimey. Yes. I just need to back her up a little bit and then I can hopefully go for it. Oh, watch my paint work. No, it's not working. I'm going to have to get down the front. Well, they don't make it easy for you. If there's two of you, you can moor up by there. And the story's no better on the other side. In fact, it's worse because there's nothing to tie your boat to. All done. If I remember rightly, nothing now until the lock at Fettlers, number 7. But as I say, I might not be doing that today. It's coming up to that time of year. She'll be incubating her little uns. And here's the man of the household. I think somewhere along here, just before the lock, will do me quite nicely. In fact, right here. This spot will do me absolutely tickety-boo for the 5 days before I go into Fettlers.